here smoking. We got some tips on the Bobby.
Yeah.
Tips on the Bobby. So one's got a Montreal rub on it, and you guys did mustard, you said?
Mustard, yep.
Mustard. That's that Southern barbecue. There we go. I don't know about you, in this time, I have been taking in a little bit more Netflix than I had in the past. And they have recently dropped a new movie on there. It's a movie, it's an actual movie, not a series. And it's called Seaspiracy. And I wanted to share that with you because I watched it. I just watched it maybe a couple days ago. And I was blown away. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but I have an akin to the ocean. You know, I grew up as a child that was close to the beach pretty much through about 5-6 years old. After that we moved away. We moved up to Sacramento, so we were away from the beach for a while, and I just kind of had this joy of being to the beach. So the ocean is kind of one of those things that, you know, as much as if there was a cause, I would be all about it, you know. And we talk about, you know, how we're trying to save the ocean and all this plastic stuff in there. Seaspiracy breaks it down in a way that I wasn't quite prepared for. I guess I expected them to talk about all the plastic in the sea and how it's killing the wildlife and affecting the ozone and all this kind of stuff like that. But it got a little deeper than that. So I don't want to be one of those guys that's, you know, they watch something and they get triggered and they want to force everybody to read it or watch it. And I guess I'm being that guy though. But I give you a little bit of caution with it, in the sense that you could be triggered. You know, it's kind of like The Inconvenient Truth, those movies back in the day, you know, talking about climate change and stuff like that. But this is more focused on the ocean and what's really going on, and some of the ways that they are manipulating it so it looks like you are actually giving a damn, but at the same time they're not really giving a damn. So I just kind of wanted to, you know, recommend that, you know, as much as I do movie reviews on my blog. This is one that maybe I won't do a review, but being that I'm doing this little review or recommendation, I just kind of want to share that with you. So if you have the time, it's on Netflix. It's called Seaspiracy, and it's pretty in depth. It's kind of information that I didn't expect to see in this movie. Again, I thought they would just focus on the plastics, but it goes a little deeper than that. So definitely check it out if you have time, or if you have a kin to the ocean and the wildlife that's all there. And to think about it, there's so much of the ocean that we have not explored, so many wild species that we've not discovered in the ocean, that it's just kind of crazy that we are living here and the ocean is so much more of the planet than we are. That's kind of one of the things that brought out of it. So if you get a chance, definitely check it out. Other than that, I'll get back to what I'm doing. I'll drop a couple more videos, hopefully this month. But stay tuned.
I know, this is just what I can sell. Oh my god. That is arrogant.
Hey everybody, Mark Johnson here, founder and creative director of Able Ape Studios, back again with another vlog. It's been a minute, hasn't it? You know, it's been a quick little minute there since my last video, for those who were actually paying attention. But in today's video, what I wanted to do was just kind of give an update, you know, since the last video. My last video, if you didn't see it, I will leave a link to that video in the description box below, or you can just click here. And so in that video, I had talked about, which the title was I believe it was how to be happy now, in a sense. And I kind of used a other video from Raul Stalsis. He was doing a video on 7 ways to be happy right now. And so that's kind of what I kind of took my cue off of. And in that cue, he gave you 7 ideas on ways you can be happy in the moment, you know, if you're feeling a little depressed. And that's kind of what led me to do this video, or that video. I was feeling a little down, you know. I mean, I know for a lot of people the pandemic is one huge pain in the ass, and it is you know, kind of making people, you know, feel a little different way, or feel a type of way. And being that we've kind of gone a year plus so far, it's understandable why and how that could happen. And so what I want to do today, being that I've kind of taken those 7 steps and just kind of made them a practice, I think there's in there somewhere an epiphany I had about how these 7 things are more or less things that you need to make habits or practice to actually make them work. And so let's take a look. Thinking on this 7 ways to make yourself happy. My experience as I'm on this day is, what's this today's? April 15th. Using those ideas as practice to kind of get me in that state has been helpful, no doubt. It's been definitely helpful. I also feel that it is very easy, in the sense that it was something simple like that to kind of trigger it, you know what I'm saying, trigger me in that direction. But the thing is that sometimes what ends up happening is you revert back to the way you were thinking, and so you forget your practices, you know what I'm saying. That's why you gotta make it a discipline, you know, something you do every day. And rather than just kind of doing it in the moment, because when you're in the moment, what ends up happening is, if you're not strong enough, you'll revert back. You'll revert back to what you've been doing because it's comfortable. You know, it's kind of like a little rut. Like you know, when you have your favorite spot, you kind of get an indentation into it, and so it's easy to fall back into that indentation or revert back to what you've been doing because it's comfortable. It's, you know, it feels good. But the idea that I'm saying was simple is that if you're able to, it's a simple movement, but it's difficult to remember or discipline yourself in the sense to do it when you're in the moment. That's kind of what I'm saying. That's been an experience. And so what I had to do is really flip my changes that I wanted to do or create habits to use them in my daily life, to incorporate them, to make them part of what I do each day, so that I don't slack off on it, or, you know, something doesn't interrupt it. So that's what I found. That's the more difficult part of it. And people don't talk about it. They tell you what you need to do, but they don't talk about how difficult that is sometimes. What does Jim Rohn say? It's easy to do, but it's also difficult. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's really all about. It's easy to do, but it's also difficult. And at the same time, it's about maintaining, because you're never going to do it perfect. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you get to a certain level, you know, you've been doing something good enough or perfect enough that you've been successful. And so that's kind of about, I think that's kind of how it is for any habit. It takes time to kind of get to a point where you start to feel that you're really mastering it. And really mastering it means doing it to the utmost every single time. You know, not just, you know, giving a 50% here, 30% here, you know, 100% here. You know, always giving 100%, you know, always giving 100%. So that's what I've been feeling. But it's been helpful. You know, the smile one, that one always triggers it. That's not lasting. It's not very lasting, but it's kind of like one of those ones right there in the moment. Always talking about gratitude. Always talking about things that I want, you know, want to do, that I aspire to do, that kind of thing. That's always been helpful. You know, it's been about 2 weeks. I want to say 2 to 3 weeks. It may be maybe like 2.5, but whatever the case, I've been using these methods, and it's, you know, again, it's in the back of my mind. So I'm always kind of thinking about, you know, when I have the routine of, you know, talking about 5 things that I'm grateful for that happened for me throughout the day. That's definitely one. So with that, you know, you can see my train of thought. My train of thought in that sense is that, yeah, I mean, as much as you have the cues, you have the points, you know, you got to put them into work. You get to put them into helping yourself get happy. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, as much as you do have to put them to work, you also got to be mindful of when to do it and how to do it, and keeping up with that and building the habit. And so what I wanted to do, like I said today, was just kind of give a check-in, you know, and just kind of say how I'm feeling and kind of the things that I've been working on lately, just to kind of show you where I'm at. And so starting off with just kind of how I'm feeling, and I mean, I had a few days there where it kind of got back to the same, you know, and it was like end of the day. You know, I didn't wake up depressed. I didn't, you know, start my day depressed. It was just kind of like I woke up feeling good, feeling excited to kind of go about what I was going to do for the day. By the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, having spent time working on projects and stuff like that. And it's not that I feel exhausted, just more or less that I was just feeling, I guess the idea would be, one, to share what I was doing, you know, with other people, you know, the social aspect of it. And the social aspect of it is kind of what the pandemic has kind of shrunk down for certain people. I know as we get to this point where things are starting to reopen, and you know, we're trying to figure out how we can get back to what we know, the norm. Things may change. I think one thing for me that I had done recently was this Flume Market, you know, farmers market, not necessarily farmers market, but Flume Street Market. That friend Ken, he invited me to share a booth with him and so I can sell my artwork. And I had built up a stockpile of artwork that has just been sitting there, being that, you know, the places that I had display them at to sell were open. And so, you know, I took a stockpile of those out, and you know, I spent 2 weekends. The first weekend, you know, I didn't really expect anything. To be honest, I didn't really expect anything for either week. But the first week, it was more or less just kind of seeing what the landscape was, get an idea of what to expect. The second week, you know, beautiful weather. I was a little more prepared to what to expect, and also there was more people that showed up in vendors, and also in people as customers. And I did a good job. I mean, I had a good day. You know, I sold a couple pieces of artwork, met with a lot of people, and that was the other thing. I wanted to be able to meet with people so that I could either collab with or interview for artist interviews, or just kind of, in a sense, just know more about that person and the artwork that they do for a project that I'm working on, which I will talk about later today. And so all those things kind of help build the mood. The following weekend I didn't do it, which was this last weekend. I didn't do the market, just in a sense to stay camaraderie, you know, so that I could still share a booth with Ken, because he wasn't going to do it for a couple weeks, so that he could build up his stockpile again to sell. And so I just agreed to just kind of wait until he was ready to do it again, and we would share a booth again in a couple weeks. And so there was a little bit of letdown there because I was, had built the momentum weekend after weekend, actually going out and doing something and being social. That was, like I said, this past weekend. And so in lieu of trying to avoid being or falling back into that trap of getting depressed and not necessarily in a mindset with a happy mood or a positive mood, I just kind of sunk my mind into work, and one of the things that I've been working on was this project I'm talking about, and it's a online magazine that I'm calling madartistry.com. I will leave a link in the description box below. It's still in the early stages in the sense that I'm not ready to fully put it out there, but if you would like to check it out, like I said, links in the description box below, or you can just go to madartistry.com and check it out. Send me some feedback on what you feel, what you think about the direction I'm going with it, and how I can actually continue making this better and to the point where I can actually put it out there and share it to the world. I think outside of that, on that point, that was one of the things. That was one of the things that helped me get out of that slow going slump again. And it was the idea of working on something difficult. I'm not a web designer. In all intents and purposes, I'm not a web designer. And I know they have services and programs out there that you can make a website pretty easy, or in a sense, you don't got to do all the coding. Okay, that makes it a lot easier. I don't know code, so I'm using WordPress. So I'm on WordPress.com, and basically how I'm learning putting it together is just by watching YouTube videos. And I think that process has really helped me develop this idea of working on things that are difficult to me, a challenge, and to see that I can actually surpass that challenge and get to the other side and win. And that's kind of what that website's representing to me right now, is this idea that I can get over some things. I can achieve things that are in a sense outside of my realm. I mean, for most intents and purposes, I consider myself an artist, so I consider myself a web designer, but I'm being able to dip into another skill by being able to use YouTube for the demos. Someone shows me how to do a certain thing. I watch the video a couple of times. I try to watch the video as I'm doing it, however it works out, and that's helped me build this website up, and to the point where, other than that, the content was just stuff that I had been working on for a while. The short stories, the artist interviews. There's a few people that I thought would be interested in actually having a page on my page, in the sense that they do similar things. In the sense that they're either creative, or they're actually trying to inspire people to be more motivated about what they do in their life, and to stand up for that. So all those kind of things has kind of helped me stay out of that slump of depression or whatever. And again, I'm not a heavy depressed person. It's just I just realized that I was going into a slump there, and I wanted to kind of find something that was going to help me get out of it. And that's kind of how I started with the 7 ways to be happy right now, with the little video. And I watched a few other videos, and again, I think, like I said in that video, it's probably going to be a process, this idea of how to be happy in the now, and how to develop a strategy to do that. So like I said, it might be a long form, might be over 3-4 videos, but like I said, I want to give it a little update. Saying, like I said, I'm still feeling good. I'm still feeling in the place where I'm supposed to be, I think. And again, one of the things, like I said, that I was diving into work, kept me focused. Trying new things was definitely one of the things, like I said, with the website, building that up. Because I was about to give that up at a certain point. I was like, another deal to kind of keep this website, this domain. And I was like, I did call in, actually called in, told them I was ready to scrap it, just give it up. And that kind of helped give me a little prep talk and say, just give it another 6 months. And so we'll see what happens in another 6 months, how this goes. But I'm feeling much better about it than I did at that point. So another win for me. Where I'm at is just kind of continuing working on these ideas of how to be happy in the now. And if you are too, maybe you can share with me some of the things that you do in the comment box below with a comment. But for today, that's just kind of all I have planned to share with you today. Definitely check out some more of the links that I put in the description box below, and also if you have an opportunity, check out mattartistry.com. But at this point, if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, make sure to subscribe. And again, if you have any comments or anything you'd like to share, maybe your own personal way of how to get yourself into happy in the media. And then also, don't forget to check out Robert Stoltz's 7 Ways to Be Happier Now and see if any of those work for you, like they work for me at this point. And again, it's practice. You know, you may not always be in that mode to remember the 7 things, but if you make one of those things or a couple of those things a part of your practice when you do get in the mood, that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of how it's helped me to continue to stay in the mood that's upbeat and excited to be alive. So, and then lastly, if you want to be updated on all my content when I'm dropping new videos, make sure to ring that bell. So, another video wrapped. And like we always do at this time, have a blessed day. I will see you on the flip side. Let's go.